Hello friends, family and other creatures from the sea. Today we have a ladder game played between Serral and Clem. I got my hands on it. I had to sell my firstborn, my secondborn and my future car. But I managed to secure the replay and here we are. Liquid Clem in the bottom right. Why is that zoom in so slow? Wrong button. And in the top left we're gonna have Hans Serral, who is a Zerg player. Finnish, of course. If you don't know Serral yet, you're new to StarCraft, welcome aboard. And if you have ever heard of StarCraft, you probably heard of Serral, as I guess he's probably the most famous StarCraft 2 player that has ever lived at this point. It wouldn't completely surprise me. Maybe only Idra would beat him in that. You see Serral opening up with a hatchery first. Of course, Serral, a player that likes to have these standard openers. He's a very standard player. He has been all-inning a little bit more lately. But still, in general, especially in ZVT, standard player, a lot of Zergs have been complaining about the lack of all-ins in ZVT, and also about the Terran-favored map pool that we currently have. Out of the 7 maps, they say, there's about 5 maps that are good for Terran, and there's like 1 that's good for Zerg. And that map is, indeed, Lightshade. Jagannatha also is good for Zerg, actually. A fine map. But Lightshade definitely considered to be one of the better maps for a Zerg in this map pool, if you compare it to maps like Beckett, Blackburn, Oxide. These tend to be more Terran favored map. 2000 Atmosphere is a more neutral map. Lightshade is definitely a more Zerg favored map. Not that easy for Terran to get 5 bases going, where very often when 2 top players are playing against each other, the 5th base is really a vital point, the 5th base for the Terran at least, because these tends to be a little bit further away from the fort, difficult to defend. And if the Zerg has enough creep threat and has map control, at that point they can just start rolling in Banelings into planetaries, similar how Protoss players blink in Dark Templars into planetaries. Except Banelings aren't invisible, they can't blink, and they die when they right-click the planetary, while DTs tend to stay alive. Well, first Reaper's gonna make its way across the map. Let's see if Clem is gonna try it as hard as he usually does. The answer is going to be yes, he does try hard pretty hard, even though it's just your average ladder game, of course, against Serral. It's always a little bit exciting to try your best, you know. Serral has a lot of MMR usually on the ladder. Clem actually, funnily enough, tends to have a little bit less, usually floating around 7k MMR, I believe. Oh, got 3 kills there. Serral, my man, what are you doing? So we see the first tumor being, well, not sure where that's gonna spread the creep, but maybe he's trying to free the roach that's stuck. What is this? Is this a roach? It looks like a roach, no? Or is it like a zealot? Oh, whatever it is. What actually is that? I have no clue. I actually have no clue what this is. It looks like a roach. I'm gonna go ahead and a roach on water. Alright. 3rd CC coming down for Clem, as he almost always does. Going to be going into a 3-base Cloak Banshee with, I think this build is with 6 scars, if I recall correctly. The way that he likes to play it, at least. We'll follow it up with a standard 5 Rex follow-up, and we'll see him decide whether he wants to add tanks or mines initially. That is the main choice here that the Terran needs to make. First 2 cars are out, so is the Reaper. And Clem is going to look to poke a little bit. Doesn't want to be going too deep, doesn't really want to lose these units. Doesn't even really care whether he gets a lot of damage done, but he doesn't want to deny a creep tumor here and there. Oh my god, I say he doesn't want to go too deep. Here we go. Throws down a grenade. Actually dives in pretty deep. 10 links immediately on the way here for Serral. Serral says, hey, perhaps my queen movement isn't good enough for this. And he gets a couple of links. Clem going very aggressive here. Look at that. Forcing a pull on those drones as well, so... Ooh, we have a Hellion split. Look at this. This is the type of stuff we usually do when we play Archon against Raynor, but Clem here says, I can do this as well, I don't need 2 people. Like, I'm faster than 2 people, I can do this. Split his Hellions now most likely is going to join them up as... Ooh, 8 cars it's going to be. Possibility, of course, of more cars is still there as well. If we don't see a barracks go down at this point, this SCV is going to pass by without building a barrack. Oh, Reaper grenade, no run by being set up either. Okay, barrack 2 and 3. This reactor is really far away though, look at that. We're gonna need to see another reactor out of this factory, no? Or am I going wild? 2 E-base coming down, of course. third gas and the fourth gas going down as well. Yeah, okay, second reactor coming out of this factory. But these barracks are far away, my friend. You'll need to fly them over later on. I wonder why he built them this far. You're gonna see barrack 4 and 5 as well. Starport starts his reactor. And Clem's trying to get some damage done, but I mean, so far he hasn't really been able to do too much. He got 4 links, 3 of those with his initial Reaper. He hasn't lost anything yet either, though, so it's not like he's in major trouble. It's just... This is usually where the damage gets done. Both of these Banshees fly over creep tumors. They get spotted. Overseer is about to finish up, and these Queens with the Overseer will be able to scare this away. Same time, we have Clem once again trying to poke in, trying to get a little bit of damage done. 20 links are out on the map already, not going for any type of run by. Not going for much of anything, to be honest. I'm impressed by Serral, by the way, that he saw this, because these units are invisible, of course. So right now Serral kind of needs to semi-track them. Let's take a look at his first person here. What is he doing exactly? Well, he isn't really tracking the Banshees anymore. So he's gonna try to spread a little bit of creep, pushing that forward. Oh, sees the Banshees and focuses his attention on that. One Banshee almost goes down. Perhaps if he had microed the Queens, that would have been a possible kill. At the same time, we have Clem being on the map with 2 groups of units, right? He has the 2 Banshees, which now are going to get repaired. He has the 8 cars with the Reaper. I was going to say the Marine. And now a third elite task force is going to join up with these cars. So... it wouldn't surprise me if these Banshees stay at home for defense. We'll see a mine as well for potential bailing run-bys. And Clem will just start putting on the pressure over here. 2 mines in this army. Armory just starting, so these guys won't turn into hellbats. 2 mines, perhaps it is possible that something will happen. Good control out of Serral there. Not really getting any big hits on any of his links or banelings. Clem floating a bit of money here, by the way. At 700 in the bank, probably he's building a command center now, yep. The Terran way to get rid of money is just build a command center. Spire on the way. We've seen a lot of 4 gas out of Zergs lately. Tends to indicate that they want to play pure Ling Bane, followed up by like some Hydra Lurker shenanigans. But here we have Serral going old school with that Ling Bane Muta. There was a really epic game that Serral once played against Bian on Romanticide. Where he really showed that he's a fantastic Mutalisk player. Serral is a very good player with a lot of things, to be honest. I remember back in the day, he always played Mutalisk. And I'm talking like 2014, 2015, before he was considered to be the best, or considered to be good even. He was just an average European Zerg, and then skyrocketing his skill level in late 2016, early 2017. Six Mutalisks, 7 Mutalisks on the way here. 3 Banelings also being morphed in. So we have 2-2 already starting for Serral. 175 supply for Clem. Clem is trying to get some damage done here, but these helmets are going to get cleaned up. Nice little flames on those Zerglings. Not quite going to be enough to get a split on these mines. Yep, but here we go. The first Mutas now probably starting to look to make their move. 7 out already, 4 more on the way. That makes 11. Counted that correctly. Serral is hitting a pretty high worker count as well. 85. Probably wanted to be there a little bit faster. Right now, I wouldn't even mind if he takes this 8 gas. Maybe even go up to 10 gas. So you can really get going with that gas production. Get high Mutalisk counts. So far, Serral completely fine with just playing 11 Muta. However, if there is no infestation pit, that means that this is going to be what? A 2-2 Ling Bane all-in? Or what is it? What are we looking at here? You either need to transition out of your Mutalisks with 9 to 10 Mutalisks, or you need to get very high numbers of Mutalisks. But in that case, I'd feel you'd need an extra gas at least. Look at the oversaturation that he had there for a second. He sent a couple of drones to the wrong base. Not quite sure what was happening here. I might have missed it. Ooh. Very close. Very, very close. Okay, 2-2 is okay. Here comes the infestation pit. I feel like Serral isn't really teching into Hive that fast though. Like his 3-3 is definitely going to be delayed. Also his Mutalisk count is high, so he's kind of doing the worst of both worlds. I like to do the best of both worlds. Right now Serral isn't quite doing that. No, yeah, I'm not a massive fan of his position. Oh my god, I love that. Scan as he gets blown up. It's not it, my friend. Loses a bunch of Marines, and this little army here losing a lot of potential. Look at that retarget there with the Widow Mine. That's beautiful. Basically, the Widow Mine has like a period in which it's targeting, and after like, I think it's like half a second or so, it shoots. But you can reset that target time. Oh, close. By clicking on another unit, and that's what we saw Clem do there, because he wasn't going to be happy with what he was getting. He just keeps right-clicking different Zerglings to kind of reset that targeting, and eventually, hopefully, get a better shot than you initially would have gotten. Look at his control. Out of Clem's gonna walk straight into 2 Banelings. Serral, perhaps a little bit late with the activation. These Marines are going to fight against these Mutalisks. 2-2 Marines tend to do relatively well. There's no boost. No, there is a boost. It's just not being used for whatever reason. Big fight moving forward. What is happening here? Clem kind of losing control of the situation, and lost a big chunk of his army there. 2 Banshees with that as well. Banshee only having 2 and 3 kills, but they're still completely alive. Of course, have been repaired already once. And this is what I was worried about earlier, guys. This is what I was saying. You either need very high Mutalisk count very rapidly to really take control of the game. Maybe try to take out turrets here, fly into the main base, force your opponent to all into your high Baneling count. Or you need to tech rapidly into Hive, so you can continue your 3-3 upgrades and you can get into those Ultralisk pretty fast. Serral went for neither of these options, and right now his 3-3 is going to be delayed. That isn't an issue yet, but once the 3-3 finishes for Clem, these fights are going to start going into his favor heavily. Oh, very sloppy micro out of Clem. Oh, we're not used to see this. We're really not used to seeing this. Clem missing a couple of target fires there, walking into Banelings as well. Big run by here gets cleaned up by a single mine shot. And if we take a look at the units lost, we see that Clem, of course, is ahead there. Well, Serral is ahead in the numbers, but that means he's doing worse in the trades. So behind in trades so far, usually on Light Shade. Not the biggest deal. Clem did manage to already sort of set up his 5th base though, which might be an issue. It is rare that games here go the complete distance, because it's so easy to attack outside bases for both players. So very often you don't get a complete split map scenario. And it doesn't look like Clem is aiming for that either, especially not against Mutalisk, of course. 6th base right now on the way for Clem. No, that's going to be a 7th base, as we already have this planetary flying over. If Clem secures this as a 6th and this as a 7th, I'm actually starting to get a little bit worried here for Serral, because that would be all the bases for Clem. Right now, Serral isn't even working of his 6th yet. Clem's already setting it up. 83 workers for the Terran. Beautiful income, 3.8, 3.5. Decent mineral income, I would say. That's what, like 70 Marines a minute? Yeah, I can live with that. For sure, here comes an attack. This ramp is gnarly, by the way. Holy crap. I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of a force here moving towards the bottom at the same time. Right now it's being left open for run-bys. Mines are going to clean up a portion of these links. Thor moving forward as well. Is there any upgrades on the Thors? No, just vehicle plating. Here comes another burrow, mine. Decent hit. Lots of Marauders being mixed into this army as well. Really give this army a nice tanky vibe. Look how many Marauders and Thors. And there's really not that many Marines in the back, but the Mutalisk count isn't high enough either, so I don't even think it's going to matter that much. When it comes to the anti, of course, against higher Zergling counts, you also want a lot of Marines, because the Marine DPS is just so good. We see Serral right now with a lot of Zerglings, these Marauders struggling against that. Perhaps the Marine count is a little bit too low for that, as this army does get somewhat cleaned up. Holy crap. 12 medevacs. I'm looking at it. There's more medevacs than there's Mutalisks. This is something we don't see often. 3-3 was done already for Clem and is about to finish up, what is it, 20-ish seconds? I'm surprised Serral was moving off creep before his 3-3 finishes. 5 Ultralisk being built as well. Like, this is not the timing for fighting, my friend. I like that he split his army, by the way. Clem, that is. Oh my good lord. Huge hit out of these Banelings. Turrets are trying to hold their own, of course. Good possibility that they do with that extra range from the upgrade that has been researched on the eBay. If a single Liberator trying to get a couple of drone kills as well over here. We'll get 5. Almost got a 6th one. These Mutalisk are going to get pushed back. Is there a Thor here in this army? There's not. But these Mutalisks, still one of them is going to end up dying. What is this called? Anabolic Synthesis. Makes the Ultralisk move a little bit quicker off creep. So we see a push forward here out of Clem. Clem just holding this ramp with a couple of mines, a bunch of Marines. Wow, oh my good lord, that was a Baneling Bomb. Serral the Baneling Bomb King. He's loving these Baneling Bombs here today. He's got a lot of damage with them already. I've seen like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 already. Like that, counting has never been my strong suit. I love this so much. Yeah, taking out the changelings. And right now these Marines, they know they can't fight the Ultralisk. They're literally just throwing rocks at this massive mammoth. And they're barely hurting it, but the mammoth gets angry, starts moving forward, and in the back there's mines. And that could be dangerous. I think Serral's just going to clean up this little outpost though. There's no way. Clem's trying his best, doesn't retarget with the mine, instead was busy stutter stepping. Otherwise the space cow would have taken him out. 4 Marauders are going to drop. That will definitely help with the damage output. I think this planetary just falls. Yep, nice pick off here by Serral. Did lose a bunch of units once again. Down about, what, 10k in units lost right now, which isn't great. This means the longer the game goes on and the easier it is for Clem to keep these bases up, the harder it will be for Serral to actually win this game if it does go long. Right now Clem is actually even pushing forward. What does Serral have left? Serral has 14 Mutalisks, he has 4 Ultras, and I'm not sure. He's struggling this game. He isn't even maxed right now. Does he not have... There's 14 larvae. Larvae are being used to put into links. I'm very curious to see what Serral is going to do to try and come back into this game. Right now we're seeing the Flyer Carapace upgrade being researched. And we have a run-by with a bunch of links, an Ultra, and 4 Banelings as well. Actually, this is not a run-by. This is going to be a flank. Except there's no real army here coming from the left side. Couple of Mutas now running in. Overseer gets taken out as well. Banelings will not be able to connect with these Marines, which means that these Marines will be able to stand in the back and fight these links one by one. Matter of fact, heal will make it impossible for the links to take anything out there, but Clem once again will need to at least temporarily evacuate this base. He doesn't need to sacrifice it. He won't lose it like he did last time with that planetary, but this still isn't the greatest fight. This wasn't the greatest fight for Clem that it could have been. Having to evacuate is always painful. The problem here for Serral is that it doesn't really matter for Clem if he isn't mining from one of his 7 bases for a bit. Clem has 5k in the bank, he has 3k gas in the bank as well. He can just lift these orbitals, and there's not enough Mutalisks to kill these orbitals rapidly. I think Clem is just absolutely destroying Serral here, and he's showing him, hey, look at me, buddy. I'm still the king in TVZ, and scanning forward. This is one of the moves that Terrans do when they know they've won the game. So Clem feeling very good about it. It's like, hey, why are you still in my game type of scan? Almost forgot the micro there, but does pick it up in the last few seconds. Won't get too many big detonations on his own. Units good control out of Serral. Links dragging in some of these mine shots on top of the Medivacs. 10 more Banelings are on the way, and Serral is running out of cash. Down 17,000 resources currently. Hasn't been able to get the momentum that he needs to deny his opponent mining, to deny his opponent the money. Because even if Clem right now is going to lose this bottom base, which is completely possible, I'll grant you that. It is. There is a possibility that Clem is going to lose this base, but plenty of bases here as a backup. Starports are going down extra command centers. This top base will never mine again for Serral. Creep is being denied, and well, Clem actually says, no, you know what? I'm done with that top side. I'm gonna rally all my units there, or maybe even, well, I don't think this was a rally actually. I think he just left these units there. Gonna leave some of my units there, and then I'm going to push forward here in this base. Mines, Marauders, a couple of Liberators being added in as well for added pleasure in this army. Extremely painful. 2 more Baneling bombs. This time they will not be able to get any big detonations. Once again, a trade that will clean up this position. But I don't think this was a very effective trade. If it was an effective trade, it might have just been barely cost efficient. But Serral hasn't gotten a big cleanup where he destroyed Clem and then managed to push on into 1 or 2 bases or take some control of the game. GG gets called as Serral gives up. Clem wins this game. Serral gave up. with what 170 supply still there, but yeah, the game did look pretty over. Creep was all gone. This position was going to be hard to hold, and yeah, this just wasn't it. All right, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this ladder game. It's difficult to get these ladder games, but whenever I hear about a legendary game or I see it in someone's match history, I tend to try and get them. So whatever is in my abilities, whatever is possible, I'll try to get these ladder replays because I know a lot of people enjoy them. Thanks everyone so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good jazz. We'll see you all next time for a new video. Bye bye.